Excellent. So good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a Wealth Warriors presentation. It's our regular Sunday evening, 10 p.m. in the UK, Wealth Warriors presentation. We're going to run through what Wealth Warriors is, why it works, as in what we're planning to achieve, some of the portfolios we're working with, and then some basic rules to make it work for you. And yeah, so I will, without further ado, I'll get started on a presentation. I always use a PowerPoint presentation simply because it keeps me, excuse me, it keeps me on the straight and narrow, and I don't wander off talking about other things that are not as relevant. And and all of a sudden, the hour is gone, and we've not covered half the stuff I want to cover. So um, that's why I use a PowerPoint presentation. I'll try not to make it death by PowerPoint. I've tried to make it as interesting as possible. But even if you don't find it interesting, look for the principles behind what we're doing. Look at the methodology and the reasoning behind Wealth Warriors, and I'm sure you'll find that interesting, if not the way I present it. So, welcome to Wealth Warriors. We consider ourselves to be financial freedom fighters, and freedom isn't free. You've heard that before, but most people they understand, or they understand the logic that freedom isn't free, but they don't know what they need to do to fight for their freedom. So I'm going to cover some of that. I won't be able to cover a huge amount of it because that topic alone is absolutely massive, but I will point you in the direction of a vast library of several dozen videos that will explain it to you if you go there and start going through the videos. So freedom isn't free, but what we have here is a system that will help you put together a plan, a system where you can become financially free for yourself, for your family, for the rest of your life, for the rest of their lives, for many generations to come. But first, we start with a disclaimer, as all good presentations do. So nothing in this presentation is to be taken as financial or investment advice. Really, that's the whole of the disclaimer. I don't really need to carry on, but there are another couple of bullet points. One is that Wealth Warriors is not an investment platform, it's a community. But if you do decide to invest in any of the platforms discussed in this presentation, only use money you can comfortably afford to lose and carry out your own due diligence. I've carried out massive due diligence on all the stuff we're doing, but don't take my word for it. Do your own due diligence. I'll point you in the right direction if you want me to. I can teach you how to do due diligence on businesses if you want me to, but it's going to be your money you're investing. So you need to make sure that you're comfortable with where it's going and who's going to be looking after it for you. So what is the problem with online businesses? Okay, the whole ethos behind Wealth Warriors is that it's not easy to make an online living online. It's not easy to make an income online. It's not easy to generate your freedom online. But if you listen to a lot of these presentations, a lot of these different companies, they make it sound as though it just is, and it isn't. So what is the problem? First and foremost, there are just too many scams out there. Over the last year and a bit, I've looked at 250, I forget the exact number, something like 253 businesses and platforms and opportunities and whatever else you want to call them, most of which, I mean, the vast majority of which turned out to be scams. Of those that weren't scams, some of them were just not for me. Even though people can make money at it, I'm looking for something very specific, and you'll pick up on what that is in a little bit. So there's only very few businesses that actually meet my strict criteria that I get involved with. Another problem with businesses that are not scams is that they might be so poorly run that they go bust. And you've seen this yourself. You don't need me to convince you of this. You've seen this on the high street. In the high street or on the high street in your town, there are businesses that were there 5 years ago that are not there now. Okay, and all that happened is they were being run poorly. They maybe they had the wrong product line in the wrong area. They had the wrong pricing point. Maybe they had the wrong staff even. They were trying to service an industry that was, or was a customer clientele that just wasn't there. Okay, and there's all good reasons why businesses go bust. It could be they were being managed by somebody who knew how to look after the money. A lot of people start getting money in and carry on spending it, and they don't realize they've got bills to pay. So you see the businesses go bust for even legitimate businesses. They go bust because they're poorly run. And you see this with online businesses. The problem is when an online business goes bust, everybody automatically assumes it was a scam. Most of the businesses that people lose money in are not scams. There's somebody with a good idea, a bit of coding experience, and a few, maybe even a few $1 million in their back pocket. But that is not enough to get a business, a multi-million-dollar business, up and running and keep it running. There's just too much to do for one person or even a small team of 6, 7, 8, 9 people. There's too much to do, and those businesses end up doing all the wrong things and go bust. So that's what happens with some online businesses. And then there's another category of businesses that aren't scams. They don't go bust, but they do get shut down by regulators and government departments. Supposedly, these government departments are there to protect us, the investor, but the bottom line is they're not. They have their own agenda. They like to close businesses down, seize the money, add it to their own coffers, possibly even prosecute or persecute people. But very often they don't bother prosecuting anybody. They just take the money, close the business down, and that's the end of it. And the proof of that, the proof of the fact that they're not there to protect the investor is that of all the people I've ever known who have lost money in some of these businesses who got shut down by government departments, none of those investors ever got a penny back from that government. Okay, so they're not really there. They are not our friends. They have their own agenda. And it doesn't matter how much money you make in online businesses, you cannot become truly free. If you're relying on one platform to provide your income for your personal wealth on into your old age, for your generational wealth to pass on to your children and grandchildren and their children, okay, you can't. It's not just about the money. You've got to be structured in the right way. You've got to have other things in place. Okay, you've got to be free from control from external forces. You've got to be in control of your own destiny. And I'm going to touch on that in a little bit. But it doesn't matter what you do with online businesses. If you haven't got these other things in place, it's just another way of making a bit of money until it all goes horribly wrong. So what can we do about it? Well, we can stop repeating mistakes of the past. And how do we do that? Well, we don't do it on our own. We do it collectively. And I love the expression that none of us are as smart as all of us. Okay, and so when we try to figure out what went wrong and how we can avoid it, we call on the wisdom of everybody. We don't just try and figure it out on our own because we don't know what we don't know. We can't see what we can't see, but somebody else might be able to see the one thing that we've missed. And so collectively, we can help avoid the pitfalls that we've seen previously. We're safer together. Now, this may not be an obvious correlation, but when we are safe in our online business, our online money-making activities, we have time. With safety comes time. If we know those businesses are going to continue to produce income for us at 0.5% a day or $2 a day or whatever it is, it doesn't matter what it is. But if we have time then to build it, we can compound that, we can keep adding to it, and eventually what started off as a small online business will become a large online business. It will be a large asset. And that asset will create a large income for us. So what are the benefits of Wealth Warriors? You know, this is all very grandiose saying, well, this is the sorts of things we want. We want to have time to build, start small, have security, and not lose money to scammers. Okay, but what are the direct benefits? The first benefit is you will never lose all of your money to a scammer again. Well, with Wealth Warriors, you'll never do that. And I'll show you an illustration in a minute that will explain that to you very nicely. Benefit two, you will develop a team. Sorry, if you develop a team, a lot of people come into Wealth Warriors, they say, I'm never going to build a team again because I don't like letting people down or leading people into something where they lose money. Okay, but after being involved with Wealth Warriors for a while, they develop a little bit more confidence in the team building process, if you like, or the team building I don't know. I don't know the word I'm looking for. Okay, but they'll sort of try team building again. And when they try it, they will get benefits from that. And you'll see that from this illustration I'm going to show you. Benefit three, protect your permanent network of contacts. Okay, now we've all been in online businesses where we think this is the best thing since sliced bread. I'm going to introduce all of the people I work with, my friends, my family, my neighbors. I'm going to introduce everybody. okay, and we drag them into that particular project. They all put money in, and then something happens to that project. It all goes belly up. And not only do we lose money, but our friends, neighbours, relatives, and work colleagues all lose money as well. Now, what happens is that they stop talking to you, they stop phoning you, they stop, making a beeline for you at family get-togethers. Okay, they resent you for losing their money. They take you off the Christmas card list, and you don't blame them because you feel that as well. You feel guilty. You feel responsible for the fact that they lost money. The fact that you lost money as well doesn't come into it. And all that happened is you didn't. Well, there's two things. One is you didn't do your due diligence. You didn't know that that business wasn't viable. And the second thing is it was the wrong business. Okay, so with Wealth Warriors, we protect your permanent network of contacts. And again, I'll show that in the illustration I'll show you. You can build future business much faster than you built your existing business, and you can make far more profit from it. Again, I'll show that in the illustration. Benefit 5, you build one business and you grow all the Wealth Warrior businesses. At the moment, we have 4 different businesses in our portfolio. So you can build one and you generate an income from all 4 businesses, and you've just built one. Benefit 6, recoup your loans, your mortgages, and recent expenditure. And I'll show that not in this illustration, but I'll show it to you later in the presentation. And become free, wealthy, and live an abundant lifestyle. I've known plenty of people say if you build this business, you'll become free. But you'll become wealthy. I've never known anybody say if you do this, you'll become free and you will live an abundant life. And that's what I'm offering you. So how does it work? This is going to be the illustration I promised you, and let's tell you the assumptions. The assumptions are that Wealth Warriors deals with 4 platforms, which we do. You have the assumption is that you have 10 people in all 4 platforms, and the assumption is you are making $1,000 per month in each of the 4 platforms. Therefore, your total income is $4,000 per month. Let's have a look at what that looks like. So this is you. I'm sure you're familiar with drawings like this. This is you. You've introduced Alan. Alan's introduced Andy and Araf. You've introduced Belle. Belle has introduced Bex, and Bex has introduced Bart. You've introduced Chris. Chris has introduced Colin and Cherry has introduced Chad. Okay, so that's it. And based on that size group in that business in platform 1, your income is $1,000 per month. So let's just move that out the way now to make room for platform 2. Platform 2, what we've done is we've introduced exactly the same people in exactly the same positions throughout the whole network in platform 2 as we did in platform 1. Okay, you'll see the benefits of that either now or very shortly. So if you've done that, then you're making $1,000 a month from platform 2. So that's your total income of $2,000 per month. So let's move that out of the way and introduce platform 3. I'm so sorry. In platform 3, we introduce exactly the same people in exactly the same positions in the network. And based on the structure of platform 3, you're going to be making another $1,000 per month. So therefore, your total income is $3,000 per month. And we'll move that out of the way to make room for platform 4. And again, you put the same people in the same positions, and your income now is $4,000 per month. Let's move platform 4 up there. And so this may continue now for several weeks, several months, hopefully even several years. And you'll see that this is all dependent on nobody else introducing anybody else. If somebody introduces somebody to, for example, platform 2, then fairly soon they're going to be signing up in platforms 1, 3, and 4 as well. Okay, so that person's income increases and your income increases. It increases across all the platforms, maybe not immediately, but within a few days or a few weeks of those people getting involved in one of the platforms. So let's suppose now something happens to platform 4. Maybe the guy running it gets fed up and wants to retire. Maybe he's ill or becomes incapacitated. Nobody else knows how to run that business. Let's suppose the government does something stupid. Let's suppose the rules change, the laws change, and Platform 4 is no longer going to operate. What happens is we lose Platform 4. So your income has dropped all the way down to $3,000 per month. It doesn't matter the fact you lost some income. Your total income every month now is still quite significant. Because you took the time to build all 4 platforms, you still have a significant income. But better than that is that the people that you've introduced into the other 3 platforms, they're not going to hate you. They're not going to take you off the Christmas card list or avoid you at family gatherings. They're fine because they haven't lost all of their money either. They haven't lost all of their friends. Okay, you protected their permanent network by getting them involved in Wealth Warriors, and you in the same tone have you've protected your permanent network as well. So then my job is to go out and find a platform 5, and when I find platform 5, it'll be tested and we'll check out that it's exactly what we need, meets all of our criteria, and so we introduce platform 5, and within a few days of you getting involved in platform 5, you've introduced your 3 people, and those people have introduced their people, and those people have introduced their people, and so within a few days of platform 5 being introduced, your income has gone back up to $4,000 per month. Okay, so you can see from this illustration that you protect your permanent network, you build a business faster. A new business gets built within a few days rather than a few months, and your income is protected to a certain extent. You don't lose all of your money just because one platform goes bust. So if you want the benefits, you must follow the rules. And the rules are, number 1, don't sign up in any other platforms that come along. If it's a good platform, Wealth Warriors will adopt it at some point. There's no reason to run around like a headless chicken trying to get into different businesses, different platforms, get in before anybody else, early mover advantage. That's all a myth. When you have a group of 100 people that you can just slot into any opportunity that comes along, then you can take the time just to wait until we've checked it out, Wealth Warriors adopts it, your the person above you in the lines of sponsorship eventually gets to sign up in it, and then they send you their link and you sign up your 100 people within a few hours. So within a few hours, you've got 100 people in your brand new business, rather than with most platforms when you run around and sign up, because you want to get in quicker than everybody else, then immediately you start with 0 people and you've got to go around and try and convince people. Whereas with Wealth Warriors, you have a team of 100 people that will follow you into the platforms that Wealth Warriors adopts. If you're adopting it yourself, they may not have confidence in the platform, but if it's a Wealth Warriors one and they know that we have great track record in selecting these platforms, then why wouldn't they join up? Because they have all the benefits as well. So we've got to avoid this urge to operate on our own, get used to being part of a community. And, there's never a rush to join up in any platform. And I see there's another one just went bust a few, I think it was probably last week or the week before, that everybody was running around, you've got to get in early mover advantage. This is going to be the biggest thing since sliced bread. And 2 weeks later, it's gone. So the second rule is do sign up in all the platforms we adopt. Don't try and think, well, do I want to do that? Even if you sign up and don't put any money in, okay, sign up, and then you have a link that you can pass on to your people, okay, because it's very, very important that we maintain lines of sponsorship. And you might say, well, I'm going to sign up in this, but I haven't got any spare cash now. And you come back to it in 3 months and put $100 in then, okay? So don't try and second guess whether you want to get into the platform, and then figure out how much you want to spend in that platform. Do maintain lines of sponsorship across all platforms. You'll find that some of your people will be tempted to jump they'll want to come and work with you because you're their local leader. Discourage people from doing that. Maintain lines of sponsorship. It's hard to generate loyalty of people if they see that their people they brought in are gravitating to you because you're the leader, or you you're perceived as the leader. Okay, that will destroy your credibility really, really quickly. Number 4, do get your personally introduced people to do exactly the same. That's just a teaching role for you. And number 5, do support your own people by learning about all of the platforms we adopt. Okay, so we have 2 platforms that you need to know a little bit about, and they both have a program of Zoom calls every week, and they're published every week in the Wealth Warriors Telegram group. So you don't need to be an expert in any of the platforms, just have a working knowledge. So why worry about the rules? Well, if you want the benefits, you must follow the rules. The rules are to ensure you get security of income, build your permanent network, become wealthy, and live an abundant life. So I think, for me, I hate rules, but if they're the benefits, I'm quite happy to follow the rules. Being community-centric means you put the community first, not yourself. You can't do both. I see so many people talk about being, putting their people first, but when it comes down to it, they don't. They look after themselves first. So, Wealth Warriors really is a community where every single person is important, an important link in the chain. And remember, platforms come and go, but the community is permanent. Okay, so the platforms might not be here next month, like I said. Sorry, not next month, but next year. I said platform 4 disappeared, but then we went and found platform 5. So the community survived, even if the platforms don't. And you can be a part of Wealth Warriors only if you follow the rules. And that's not, nobody's going to kick you out. You can run around saying you're a Wealth Warrior, but if you don't follow the rules, it'll soon become apparent to you and to your team of people that you're not really a Wealth Warrior, you're doing your own thing. So nobody will enforce that. It's just that if you're not following the rules, you're not really a Wealth Warrior. So just to give you confidence that we know what we're doing when it comes to adopting platforms, we have some criteria. The first one is that it must be available in the whole world. So some platforms are excluded. Now, if they're excluded in, for example, a war zone or some sort of military dictatorship or something like that, that's fine, because the chance of us getting people involved from that country are negligible. But at some point in the future, they won't be a war zone anymore, and so the doors will open up to them. But it's where some of these platforms, when they first come along, they're only available in Europe, or they're only available in the US, for example. So it must be available in the whole world, and it must have a unilevel compensation plan, not forced matrices or binary plans or anything like that. And people must be able to join for free or get involved in a passive income program for a very low entry cost, i.e. $100. I was showing something a little while ago where it's absolutely tremendous. You hand over some money and they guarantee you, I think it's something like 43% per month. The buy-in cost is $25,000. Okay, so right there and then I had to say, looks great. We can't do it because we can't get everybody in Wealth Warriors to put in $25,000. So yeah, it's a very low entry cost, $100, sometimes free. If we can get them free, that's even better. Now, the reason we want 1, 2, and 3 is because we can then maintain lines of sponsorship across all platforms. If 1, 2, or 3, any of 1, 2, or 3 are missing, then we won't be able to maintain lines of sponsorship across all platforms. Criteria number 4, it must be based on real world applications. I was talking with somebody earlier, and in fact, I talked to them last week about this, and they understood that when we look at some of these platforms, it's there's got to be a product, there's got to be something somebody does. We give them our money. What do they do to give us to make profit, to give us our money back? And if they're not doing anything to give us, to make profit, to give us our profit or our share of the profit, then it's just a money game or a shell game. It may even be a Ponzi scheme. If they're taking money from new people to pay you, then it's probably a Ponzi scheme. Okay, so we look for businesses that are based on real world applications. They're actually doing something to make some profit. We must also be able to verify what they're doing to make some money. And if possible, we want to be able to meet the CEO. Now, that's becoming more and more problematic because some of these platforms don't actually have owners. They're set up as smart contracts, and there aren't owners. I tend to frown on that. If we can't meet the owner or the CEO, then it's kind of a black mark, but it's not necessarily a showstopper these days. So we've got to have a good understanding of what that platform is doing. The compensation plan must be viable and sustainable. And the membership of Wealth Warriors must all be able to get behind the project. Okay, so if there's things there that are morally questionable, then we would say let's not introduce it to Wealth Warriors. And people are free to join those businesses, the ones that we reject, those platforms that we reject, absolutely. And I actually post something quite regularly to say, look, I've looked at this business, it's not for us. It's still a good business, but it's not for us. And people are free then to go ahead and join that themselves. That's fine. So let's have a look at some of the platforms that Wealth Warriors have approved for our use. The first one is called Matrix Freedom. And Matrix Freedom is a very, very interesting system. It's a journey to become free. And hopefully we'll get some more information out of the rest of this presentation. So the company has split the process into two distinct strands. It's easy for you to say. The first part is Roadmap to Freedom. That's like the original Matrix Freedom offering. And they've added in I Am Free as a second strand. The Roadmap to Freedom covers all of the financial aspects of the system, and I Am Free covers all of the lawful requirements to become free. So you sign up as a member for free. In fact, there's now a website. I haven't published a website, but I published it in the Telegram group. There's also a Telegram group called Wake Up and Get Free. So you can join up there as well if you want to get information about my journey through Matrix Freedom. But you can sign up for Matrix Freedom for free. And then after that, you can decide, do I want to be involved in the Roadmap to Freedom or the I Am Free route? Or if you feel that you know enough people to build a team, you can register or request to become an affiliate. It's not automatic. Okay, so you have to request to become an affiliate. And you can also request to become a network organizer. So an affiliate has members and a network organizer has affiliates and members. And it's free to become any of those different things within Matrix Freedom. There is a really generous compensation plan. So if you know people that are going to use their services, then you can actually make quite a nice income from that. Okay, and I might talk about that a little bit more in a minute. So the Roadmap to Freedom, this is what I was going to change. I spent a long time earlier checking these slides because I keep saying I'm going to change something, and this is it. I couldn't find it. So the Roadmap to Freedom, you can recoup your checking account, or your current account, as we call it in the UK. Whatever's gone out of that account in 2022, you can claim back. Okay, so it costs £1,000 for to claim back a personal account and £2,000 for a business account. So I paid £3,000 for two accounts, one personal and one business. I've got others, but I thought I'd try this out first. So I've paid £3,000, one personal, one business, and I'm claiming back $168,000. Okay, so don't get confused between the pounds and dollars. Well, the pricing is in pounds because the company's based in the UK. But the money comes from the IRS in America, so you get paid out in dollars. Where are we? You can also now recoup, for the same price, you can recoup 2023 and 2024. Now, it doesn't matter why that money left your bank account. You could have written a check for cash. You could have paid for a holiday. You could have bought a car. Okay, you could have paid your taxes. It doesn't matter why that money left your bank account. It's in financial terms, if you like, or in IRS language, it's a transmission. You sent money out into the world, and so you can claim that back from the IRS. And these people, you pay the money, and these people do everything for you. You can discharge mortgages, loans, taxes, and other debts. Imagine every single loan every single mortgage you've ever had. Okay, you can claim it back. You may have had a mortgage initially for $100,000, and then you moved to another house and you took out a mortgage for $200,000, and then later you took out a mortgage for $500,000. Okay, you claim back $800,000, whether that mortgage has been discharged or not. Okay, if you still owe it, or if you sorry, if you haven't repaid the mortgage yet, you can discharge that so you can get it paid for you along with the loans and taxes. I got ahead of myself. And you can also claim back the mortgages and loans and taxes and other debts. So you claim them, so you pay them all off, and you also claim them all back. You can create new currency to acquire a property. You can create new currency to acquire a car, and you can control and shelter your assets in a private trust. Okay, so a private trust is what all wealthy people use to protect all of their assets. They don't actually own the assets themselves. The trust owns the assets, but they have control of the trust, and they have control of those assets, so they can live in the house, drive the car, sail the yacht, fly in the aeroplane, whatever it is. Okay, but it's not theirs, so they can't be they can't lose it. It can't be taken away from them. It belongs to a private trust. And you can also create new currency as needed to live a life of abundance. So you might say, well, every year I need $500,000 to fund my lifestyle. So every year you create $500,000 worth of currency that comes to you for you to spend to live your life of abundance. You might say it's $1 million. Okay, it's entirely up to you. I am free is the legal aspect of all of this. So you correct your status and standing so that you're no longer controlled by your local state, your local government. Okay, you're an independent person, you're a free person, and you can rescind all unlawful contracts and replace them with lawful contracts, which you must do as part of your correcting your status. You can set up a private trust to operate for you without being enjoined to the control matrix. And you can transfer the allodial title of all of your assets into that private trust. Again, the allodial title is the real title, the real ownership of something. If you have a house, you think you own the house, or you think that you own at least part of the house because you've been paying the mortgage for a while. Okay, but if that house is registered to a government agency, you do not own the house. The government do. You're probably referred to as the occupier or the tenant. Okay, if you own a car, or you think you own a car, you probably don't. If that car has been registered to a government agency, then it's the government that owns that car. You are probably referred to as the registered keeper or the registered driver. Okay, but you're not the owner. Whereas you can transfer all of those titles, allodial titles, into your private trust. The private trust holds the allodial title, but you have the right to use all of those things. Live in the house, drive the car, and so on. And you can also engage with the All Souls Nation Foundation to assure your protection and your sovereignty going forward. You can obtain a one world passport, a driving license, etc., and you become an ambassador. Okay, you are literally an ambassador for your own nation. This is recognized by every country in the world. So there's some books that are available just by logging into the website, and these are also available in my Telegram group for Wealth Warriors. So that's Matrix Freedom. BitHarvest. BitHarvest is a tremendous system where basically you buy a device, it gets plugged into the internet. It works over a VPN to help bit miners increase their productivity, and you get a share of that daily productivity. So you can buy a whole booster for $1,000, or you can buy just shares. You might have, instead of $1,000, you might have 300. So you can buy 3 shares of a booster, or 4 shares, or 1 share of a booster. Okay, so you can buy as many as you want. Some people have 200, 300, 400 boosters. Most people start off with 1 or 2 and build up from there. But the thing is, you can build up from there. Now, the boosters themselves, once you pay for it, you own it. It's your property. I told you that the bit boosters enhance miners' profits and work with any mining farm in the world. From your own bit boosters, you earn $5 to $10. Well, I've got an update on that in a little while. That's kind of old figures. That's what the company published, but I'll tell you my personal experience at the end of this presentation. But the point is, you earn Bitcoin every single day. It doesn't matter how much it is, you earn Bitcoin every single day. As a passive income, you don't have to do anything. You buy the booster, it gets plugged in, and from that moment on, you earn Bitcoin every single day. You don't have to do anything. You just earn the Bitcoin. You can also earn commissions when people in your group, people you introduce, buy boosters, which is a one-off sales commission. And you can earn a percentage override of all the boosters in your group are busy mining Bitcoin, and you earn a percentage override of all of that Bitcoin mined in your group. You can buy more bit boosters or shares to manually compound earnings. So you can take your profit every time you got $100 in profit, buy another share. Okay, you can do that. A lot of people do that. Bit boosters are an income producing asset like a rental property or an ATM machine, and it just keeps making Bitcoin for you every single day. So I'm going to cover off a few strategies. The first strategy is just generating a passive income. So for this strategy, you buy bit boosters and let them earn your Bitcoin for the next 5 years. So you don't do anything with it. You just buy some boosters and they produce Bitcoin. So this assumes a Bitcoin price of $1 million in 5 years' time. There's a lot of people think it's going to be a lot more than that. Cathie Wood, the greatest cryptocurrency analyst in the world, predicts 3.8 million by the year 2030. Michael Saylor and Donald Trump were talking about the price of Bitcoin being $10 million by 2030. Okay, so me assuming a price of $1 million in 5 years' time, I don't think that's too excessive. So this is showing you that if you have one booster, the amount of Bitcoin you've generated over the next 5 years is worth 200,000 when Bitcoin is worth $1 million. If you've got 5 boosters, then you've saved up $1 million worth of Bitcoin. So it's cost you $5,000 to get $1 million in 5 years' time. That's a pretty good savings plan. I know people that buy 5-year bonds, they wouldn't get, for $5,000, they wouldn't get $1 million in 5 years' time. For $5,000, they'd probably get $5,000 or maybe $6,000 if you're very lucky. If you've got 10 boosters, $10,000 worth, your Bitcoin will be worth 2 million in 5 years' time. If you've got 100 boosters, then you will accumulate $20 million worth of Bitcoin. In reality, I believe these figures, this amount of Bitcoin here, in reality, I think is going to be a little bit on the low side, or what I've predicted is a little bit low. I think it's going to be far more than that. But this is just to show you that you can increase your income just by buying more boosters. Strategy 2 is to hit star ranks, and I'm not going to spend very long on this at all. What I'm going to say is there are 8 different star ranks, starting from 1 star, working up to 8 star. And this is the minimum income for a 1 star. And it assumes a Bitcoin price of 70,000 now when you get in. And in 5 years' time, assumes a price of $1 million per Bitcoin in 5 years' time. So what I want to show you is your monthly referral income. What you'll earn every single month is $173. And if you save all your Bitcoin up, it'll be worth $274,000 in 5 years' time. With 2 star, the same assumptions, but now your monthly referral income is $1,100 per month. And after 5 years, your Bitcoin will be worth 1.3 million. So you get the picture. I'm going to skip through a few and pick on maybe the 5 star. Your income is $3,900 per month. And in 5 years' time, your Bitcoin will be worth $30 million. So you'll have 30 Bitcoins if they're worth $1 million each. Let's go to 8 star. Your monthly referral income is just about $500,000 per month. And in 5 years' time, your Bitcoin will be worth 350 million. Okay, so that's just a strategy. Hit the star ranks, work your way up, bring more people in to build your team, put all your profit back into buying more boosters, Okay, that's the strategy. Some people like that strategy. Another strategy is some people want to just buy Bitcoin. You see it all the time, all over the world. People are saying, I've got $1,000, I'm going to buy some Bitcoin, put it away, and wait for the price of Bitcoin to go up, make a few dollars. Okay, so what we're saying here is somebody's got $70,000 and Bitcoin is $70,000, so they buy one Bitcoin. And we're also going to assume that Bitcoin is worth $200,000 in 2 years' time. Okay, so you buy one Bitcoin and you keep hold of it for 2 years, so it's worth $200,000. So it cost you $70,000 to buy it. You've made $130,000 in 2 years. That's pretty good. That's not bad at all. But if instead of buying one Bitcoin for 70,000, you bought 70 boosters, you would earn, after 2 years, you would earn 4.5 million. And you still got, because of the way that those boosters would compound, you buy more boosters with the profit, you would have 434 boosters at that stage. And those 434 would be earning you 4.5 million per year. Okay, so that's BitHarvest. The next one is called Cryptex. Cryptex is a crypto investment company. This is kind of a little bit different because we're not able to get back our daily profit, but you'll see that the profit at the end of the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, in my opinion, it's worth having a little go just to see what happens. So that's why we've added it. A lot of people like this. So it's a crypto investment company, and what you do, you put your money in, and they do some weird stuff. They take your money and they take out a loan using your money, and then they use that loan to pay fees, and those fees then generate profits to repay the loan and also give you a very, very significant profit after 3 years. So it's a platform to make use of all-in-one investment solutions, so you can go on there and do other things besides just stake your money. But what I'm telling you about what we do with these platforms is what we do as Wealth Warriors. Okay, so there are lots of other things you can do with Cryptex. There's lots of other things you can do with BitHarvest, but all we're interested in with BitHarvest is buy some boosters, make some Bitcoin every day, and reinvest and withdraw some of our profits. Similarly with Cryptex, this is just what we do. Yeah, so the headquarters in Singapore, the Cayman Islands. So we get rewarded for providing staking, which is liquidity. And there are two types of liquidity provider: passive, those who contribute to vaults and manage positions with baked-in hedging strategies, and active, those who choose to provide liquidity on one side of the market, long or short. The minimum investment is $100. Now, this is what I was saying about, in my opinion, it was worth chucking $100 in there to see what was going to happen, because the typical payout after 3 years will be $43,800. And I think that's a good reward to risk ratio. Because it may not be. If something happens with Cryptex before I get my $43,800 out, it's a waste of $100. It doesn't matter how good the reward is if we never get the reward. But personally, I thought it was worth a risk because Cryptex has been around since 2018. And I know lots of people that have invested with Cryptex. So I thought that was a good, a good worth a punt. Let's say it's worth a punt. Now, even if you don't want to get involved in Cryptex, it's worthwhile just signing up so that you can generate a link so that you can pass on to other people. And all that means is when the people that you introduce, when they make their investments, you don't get any commissions. It just passes straight through you to the person who introduced you. So there's no harm in signing up, but not funding the account if you don't want to. So this is my account. After 20 months, I started with $100. And it's now grown to 14,488, and it's earning $31 every day. And after 1 year, I started to add $100 packages. So now I've got 5. So I've got one that's just is going to mature in about 14 months' time, something like that. And then I've got another 4 that are going to mature in about 30 months' time. So it took me a while to get any sort of confidence or any belief in this, but then I put a few more $100 in. There's something that I should tell you, and that is if you have faith in this system and you put $1,000 in, then you don't just get the 10 contracts that you paid for, you get 15 contracts. So it's an immediate 50% increase in your investment. But again, you need to have confidence that the company's going to be around for the next 3 years to pay out. And that's your call. Nobody else can make that call for you. So we'll see. So this is my account. My total stake balance is 44,000, and the loan balance is 30,000. I've made 14. We are here. I made 14,488, and yesterday I earned just about $31. Okay, so I've got some strategies for you. I've got 5 strategies. I'll run through them as quickly as I can. The first one is a small one-off investment. So you invest $100 and that's your total outlay. And after 3 years, you withdraw 43,800. And then if that works, then you might take some of that profit and buy another contract. So that's a small one-off investment, and that's what I started with. Second strategy is a large one-off investment. So you put in $1,000. Now I've not included here the fact that you're going to get an extra 5 contracts. So multiply this amount here by 50%. So total outlay is $1,000, and we've all spent $1,000 on something that didn't work, or a holiday where it rained for the whole week or whatever it was. So after 3 years, withdraw 438,000, which is close to $500,000. And then if that works, then you would say, well, let's reinvest another $1,000. So it's a large one-off investment. Strategy 3 is a small savings plan. So invest $100 every quarter. So in January, April, July, and October, possibly, it's entirely up to you. This is just a suggestion for a strategy. Then after 3 years, the most you've spent is $1,200. So over 3 years, you're going to spend $1,200. Most people spend a lot more than that on their hobbies. After 3 years, you can withdraw 43,800 every quarter, which gives you an annual income of 175,200 per year. Again, this costs you an outlay. You're just risking $1,200 for 3 years. Again, I think that's a pretty good reward to risk ratio. And then every time you cash in one of these contracts, you take $100 and reinvest it. So something I should have said about that 175,000. A lot of people that are working for corporations, that have worked for corporations for 25, 30, 35 years, that were on the fast track, they've got good, degree, they've got headhunted, they've worked hard for that company for the last 30 or 5 years. Okay, so they're on the fast track. They've missed family events, they've missed piano recitals and family holidays and weddings and birthdays. Okay, most of those people are not on $175,000 per year. And here you are, you can do this with $100 every quarter over the next 3 years. So I think that's a pretty good comparison. So this is the medium savings and income. So what we're doing here is we're saying this is like a Christmas saving plan. We're going to put $100 aside every single month. After 3 years, we've invested 3,600. Still not a massive investment, but after 3 years, then we're withdrawing 43,800 every month. So our income is over $500,000 per year for a total outlay of 3,600 over a 3-year period. I defy anybody to show me anything that's going to compare with that. And then, of course, when you get your money out, you reinvest $100 every month. And lifetime savings and incomes, this is the next step up. If you pay weekly, you might say, well, I'm going to make sure and pay $100 every week for the next 3 years. So after 3 years, your total outlay is $15,000. And after 3 years, you can withdraw 175,200 every month. Okay, and that gives you an annual income of 2.2 million per year. So there's some strategies. There are 5 different strategies I've come up with. You're only limited by your own imagination. You can come up with whatever strategies you like, but I think that some of those are pretty good. So UBX, I'm not going to go through the advantages of this. You can look back at the video and see them. These are all things as I trawled through the company documentation, I spotted these things, I realized these things, and there's so many advantages of working with UBX. But who are UBX? Well, UBX is an exchange. And if you're new to cryptocurrency, you don't know what an exchange is. An exchange is a lot like a bank. It's an online bank. It has different rules from a bank. But basically, you can, or maybe a stockbrokers, okay, where you put money into an exchange and you can buy one cryptocurrency with another cryptocurrency. And the idea is that you would ordinarily, people use an exchange, they put some cryptocurrency in and then they say, well, I think compared to the cryptocurrency I've got, I think, for example, Bitcoin is going to go up in price. So they buy some Bitcoin on their exchange using their existing cryptocurrency. And then Bitcoin goes up a little bit and they say, well, I think Bitcoin's going to stop going up now, but I think Ethereum is going to start going up. So then they exchange their Bitcoin for Ethereum. So Ethereum goes up for a little bit and then they say, now I think that's gone as far as it's going to go. I think Sol is going to go up in price now. So then they change their Ethereum into Sol. And if they want to have a little break from the market, then they would change it back into USDT, which maintains the dollar value. It doesn't maintain the pound value or the yen value or the euro value, but it does maintain the dollar value of their coins. Okay, so that's what happens on an exchange. There's a couple of things, a couple of other things though that mean that we can make money from that without getting involved in exchanging our money for other money and hope that the market goes up, because to me that's a thankless task. You can get it right 10 times and get it wrong 1 time and lose half of your money, and you're back to square one after weeks of sitting in front of charts, looking at using analysis tools and indicators and so on. One mistake can cost you very dearly. And also, I don't want to sit in front of charts all day, every day. I've done that. It's exciting to start with, but it soon loses its appeal, I can tell you. So other things the exchange does is that they need money from somebody like us to pay the staking fees on behalf of their clients. Now, the clients, when they buy Bitcoin with their Ethereum, they pay a fee. But initially, the fee has to be paid from somewhere else because you can't charge. So the exchange can't charge the client the fee until after the transaction, just in case the transaction fails. So they don't take the fee until after the transaction's completed. So they take your money, pay the fees on behalf of the client, do the transaction for the client, then the client pays the fees, but the fees the client pays are more than the money it took the company used from your pot, if you like. So then they give you back the fees plus some profit. Now, what I love about this, and the same thing I love about the BitHarvest boosters, it doesn't matter if the market goes up or down. It doesn't matter if that trader makes a profit or makes a loss or even gets wiped out, loses their shirt. It doesn't matter. They still have to pay their fees. And so we make money regardless of what happens on the exchange, regardless of what happens in the marketplace. I absolutely love that. It's one of the reasons we don't get involved in trading platforms or arbitrage platforms, because all these other platforms are based on what the market does. UBX is based on people placing trades and paying their fees. Okay, so I've explained that bit. Staking money gets used multiple times per day. And in fact, this is the only company I've ever seen where they promise you 1% a day and you get about 1.2%. Now, that's not a guarantee. It may not happen. It may be just me. But I've never seen it before, and I can show you figures that show you I'm earning over 1.2% when I should be earning 1% per day. So we earn whether the market's up or down, and we earn whether the client wins their trades or loses. And at the end of the staking term, so you can stake for either 30 days, 90 days, 180 days or 365 days. You make profit every single day. You can withdraw that profit every single day. And at the end of the staking term, you get your money back again. So if you made a stake in Bitcoin, maybe you staked a whole Bitcoin Okay, at the end of that period of time, you get that 1 Bitcoin back again, and it's probably worth more now in a year's time than it was when you staked it. Okay, so there you can realize the benefit of your favorite cryptocurrency going up in price. You haven't got to think, oh well, do I keep it because I think it's going to double in price, or do I put it into something where I can make a profit every day? With UBX, you can do both. You put your Bitcoin in and you make profit every day, and then you get your Bitcoin back at the end of the period. So that's a very, very interesting point I've never seen anywhere else. So here's some strategies with UBX. You deposit $1,000, which will give you, if you take out a 1% plan, and there are 10 different plans that you can invest in. The one I'm thinking of here is a 1% plan, 1% per day. So every day you earn $10, which means that you can save up your profit for 10 days, and every 10 days you can stake another $100 of profit. The least you can invest is $100. So you can take that profit and buy another stake. Okay, and what that means is you've now got $1,100 earning 1% per day. So it won't take 10 days next time. Well, it will, but it will actually take 9.1 days. But then the next period after that will be 8 days, and then shortly after that it'll be 7 days, and pretty soon you're going to be staking every single day. With $1,000, you can generate a monthly income of $1,000 per month in just over 4 months. So you might say, well, yeah, I've got $1,000 going there, but I actually want to earn $1,000 per month, and it just takes just over 4 months to do that. Strategy 2, you deposit $10,000 and earn $100 per day. Same plan, 1% per day. And so that means every single day you can stake $100 of profit to increase daily earnings. So every single day you've got a higher stake than you had before. And with $10,000, you generate a monthly income of $10,000 per month in just over 4 months. Now, I think that's a pretty good return on investment. So they're the 4 different platforms we have. At the moment, we may add to them in the future, but we have some strict criteria to stick to before we do. So our communications, we run a Telegram group, so make sure you get added to that group to keep up to date with changes. We hold this Zoom call every Sunday at 10 o'clock UK time, and attend the Zoom calls for the platforms that are published in the Telegram group. Take your people with you. For Matrix Freedom, work your way through the webinars and books at your own pace, but get the first roadmap completed as soon as possible. Get the referral links to all platforms. So what to do now? Get the referral links for all the platforms from the person who invited you to this presentation. Register in all the opportunities and make a note of your referral links. Pass these links on to your existing frontline members or to people that you invite to see this presentation. And make a minimum payment in all the opportunities. And if you can't do that, sign up in all the opportunities and just fund the one that interests you the most. Ask your introducer to be added to the Wealth Warriors Telegram group. Attend a Zoom call or watch a video for each platform. And as new platforms are added, so when we have platform 5, for example, get the referral link from your upline and join as quickly as possible. So pester them, make sure they sign up, get their referral link, and then pass your referral link on to your existing team, and then get on a presentation for that new platform as soon as possible. You can grow your Wealth Warriors community by bringing more people to the Wealth Warriors Zoom calls or by sharing this video from YouTube. You only have to promote the 1 or 2 platforms you're excited about, then bring your new members to Wealth Warriors, and I'll show them why they should sign up in all 4 platforms. I think by the end of this presentation, it's quite apparent why you don't just sign up in one of the platforms when you can sign up in all 4. You build one platform and have 4 or more platforms grow below you. You can get a Wealth Warriors landing page by signing up for a free account with System.io, and then you import my funnel, an email campaign from there. But then what you have to do is go into the emails and change my referral links to your referral links. You can get a Cryptex landing page by taking this link, add your own Cryptex wallet in place of C12345678990. Okay, just add your Cryptex wallet on the end of this link. and it will send people automatically to a landing page. When people want more information, they register with you in Cryptex. So a quick reminder, we're building a solid foundation on which we can base our financial futures. We only work with companies that are in it for the long term, and we only work with companies that are above board, as far as we can determine, obviously. We build a large asset, which in turn will deliver a large income. It doesn't matter whether the asset is a lot of boosters, a lot of contracts in Cryptex, a lot of a lot of staking plans in UBX. It doesn't matter what it is. We want to build slowly over time a large asset, because that will then give us a large income. Only platforms that meet our rigorous criteria are even considered. And I've upset many people over the last year and a bit by turning down their precious brainchild, or their precious platform that they believe in wholeheartedly. And the point is, the reason we're doing this is we don't want to be at the mercy of any one platform or any platforms. We apply our rules to this industry because we want our outcomes, not somebody else's plan for our life. We want our plan for our life, and so we need to do things our way. Finally, it's important to remain safe on the internet and in the world of online opportunities at all times. Do not share your passwords or other credentials with anyone. Where it's available, set up your 2FA on your accounts. And if you don't know what this is or how to do it, just Google 2FA. Very often within the platforms, there is a video to show you how to do it, or there'll be a question, an FAQ to tell you how to do it. Back up your passwords and your 2FA codes in a secure location. Write it down, keep it safe, put it in a safe if you've got a safe. Make sure the executors of your will or your beneficiaries have access to this information in the event of your death. So get back to the person who invited you on this call or referred you to this video. They're ready and waiting to help you avoid scams, protect your permanent network, and create immense personal wealth. Now, the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to switch my share to another document. And some of you are going to be a little bit surprised at this. I actually drew up this document. It might only be embryotic at the moment. I don't know if there's more stuff to add on. These are just thoughts I put down in sort of 5 minutes. But I wanted to compare UBX and BitHarvest. The reason is I talk to a lot of people about balancing their portfolio, making sure you've got the right amount of your future income being generated by the right platforms. If we have one platform that outperforms the others, you still don't want to be putting all of your money into that one platform. You want to have quite a balance across all the platforms, because the security is in the fact that if one of these platforms fails, you have the other platforms to support you to continue to grow your personal wealth. So even though some of these platforms are better than others, we still want to have a balance across them. Now, with Matrix Freedom, you don't really need to consider that in terms of balance. With Cryptex, again, it's kind of up to you how much you put in, but I don't think we need to consider balancing our portfolio about Cryptex. The reason is that these two that we're looking at now, BitHarvest and UBX, are kind of similar. Okay, you'll see why in a minute. So if we look at the lowest, the feature or benefit down the left-hand side, the lowest startup cost is $100, which is true for BitHarvest, and it's also true for UBX. And you earn profits whether the market is up or down, which is true for BitHarvest and also UBX. Daily profits can be withdrawn, which is true for BitHarvest and UBX. However, people often, investors in particular, want to talk about the return of investment capital. Well, you don't get your capital back with BitHarvest. You own the booster. And as long as it doesn't break down, then you have that booster forever. And in fact, if it breaks down within 5 years, it gets replaced free of charge. But even so, these machines aren't going to last forever. But hopefully it'll be a very, very long time. You'll have earned a lot of money from them before they do break down so that you can replace them. However, with UBX, you do get your capital returned at the end of the staking period. Investment grows as crypto prices increase. With BitHarvest, that's not the case. you paid your $1,000, that's not going to increase at all. Whereas with UBX, if you stake $1,000 in Bitcoin and the price of Bitcoin goes up over the next year or the next 6 months, then when that staking plan matures, you'll get back Bitcoin at today's Bitcoin price. Sorry, the future Bitcoin price, not today's Bitcoin price. Can you withdraw 100% of earned income? With BitHarvest, no, you can't. Some of your earned income gets put into your register wallet, and the only thing you can use that for is to give to other people or to buy more boosters. With UBX, you can withdraw 100% of what you earn. There is a conversion fee, but regardless of that, you get all of the money that you earn. Can you withdraw in more than 50 cryptocurrency? No, with BitHarvest, you can withdraw in USDT or Bitcoin. With UBX, you can send it to the spot account and transfer it into any one of dozens of coins, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Sol, Chainlink, whatever you want, and withdraw it that way. Can you withdraw within a few hours? With BitHarvest, no, it's about 24 to 48 hours. In fact, I saw yesterday somebody wrote 48 to 72 hours. In my experience, it's nearer 48. With UBX, it takes as long as it takes to process it on the blockchain. This is what really opened my eyes. BitHarvest send you every week a statement of how much or what the performance was of your boosters last week. Now, I've got 29 boosters, and based on what they told me I'd earned from those boosters, then I worked out that each booster is giving me a 0.27% return based on the $1,000. So I'm earning, for each booster, I'm earning $2.77 per day. With UBX, they promised me 1%. I'm actually earning 1.23%. So for my $1,000 input to BitHarvest, I'm getting $2.77. For my $1,000 input to UBX, I'm getting $12.33. And that completely opened my eyes because I thought they were very comparable, but they're not. There's a big difference. So therefore, to balance up my portfolio, I need to put at least as much money into UBX as I've got into BitHarvest. And finally, if you want to repurchase just based on your passive income under BitHarvest, it would take you 361 days to earn another $100 to repurchase. Okay, so if you start with $100 and you want to buy another $100 plan, another $100 share, then it will take you 361 days. If you want to do that with UBX, so you put $100 in to get $100 out to restake, it will take 100 days. And in fact, it'll be less than that. It'll be something like 90 days because I'm actually earning 1.23% per day. So I wanted to show you that because it's important to balance your portfolio, and it's important to analyze things like this. How much am I getting from each investment, and what's going to add better to my future income? So there we have it. I'm now going to stop the share. We'll go back to the room, and I'll open the room up for people can unmute themselves. So you can all unmute yourselves if you want to. You can put your hand up to ask questions. So anybody who wants to can unmute themselves. And Mervin's already done it, and Sean's already there. So did you have a question, Mervin?
No, I was kind of very interested in that last little chart that you gave, though.
Yes, I only did it a couple of days ago. So I've not sort of published it because it's not been finished. I don't think it's finished. I think there's a few more things that need to go on there. But yeah, thank you for that. Sean, you have your hand up.
Yeah, that's a great chart, and that's what Chet and I've been talking about was BitHarvest versus UBX versus Cryptex, right?
Yes.
But the question that I have is on the UBX spreadsheet. As I look at it more and more, yeah, you reinvest, or restake, as you say, and you get to a point where you're earning per day, but the earnings would stop if you stop staking.
Why?
right? I mean, when do you like? I think Mervin had a spreadsheet last week about he's going to take X money out and reinvest X. But when do say you got 4,000 a month, when can you start taking that money out and still get money on restaking?
I'm not sure I understand the question. I'll answer what I think you've asked me.
Okay.
And the answer is that you can withdraw money anytime you like.
Right.
Even if you've got $5, you can withdraw
Right.
$5.
Right. Right.
Um, but if you want to continue growing your account, okay, let's suppose you make 4,000 that month. You could take out 3,900 and reinvest 100 if you want to.
Right.
So I'm
But
not
I
sure what
mean,
you think.
where does the stability come in? If let's say you're making 4,000, you get to that level, oh, I'm making 4,000 a month. What what does it look like as far as having to restake to make that continuously? If you get to 4,000, you want to take 4,000 out for the month, and then you want to keep making that next month. What does that look like? Do you know?
Okay, I see what you're saying. So the yeah, there is sort of a tail off at the end. So let's say we put money into a 1% plan for 365 days.
Right.
Okay. Then after and so best way to explain this without confusing everyone.
Let me make your head hurt.
Okay,
I
so
was just trying to think about how would I.
okay, so you put $100 every single day into a 365-day plan.
Right.
So
Done that.
after 364 days,
Yeah.
you're earning an amount of money. I don't
Yes.
know what it would be.
Right.
1% times 364,000. Okay.
Right.
So about 40,000. So you make about 40,000 a day, would you? No, I can't think. It doesn't matter. But you're making an amount of money after 364 days.
Yes.
Day 365, that's going to drop off by
Right.
$10.
Right.
So if you don't restake that $100, then your income is dropped by $10. So on day 366, your income is going to drop off by $10. But bear in mind, you're going to get your $100 back.
Okay.
So if you don't restake it when the period is up, then yes, your income starts to tail off.
Okay.
But if you're earning $4,000 a month and you set the auto reinvest button on all of those staking plans or pledges, you set them all to auto reinvest. Clicking, Greg, you're clicking away like crazy. I'm going to mute you.
Sorry.
Um, yeah, so then you can continue earning that $4,000 a month forever.
Okay.
It
Okay.
wouldn't grow. It wouldn't grow because you're not reinvesting, but it wouldn't
Right.
tail off because you've got the auto reinvest happening at the end of every plan, at the end of every staking period. It would
Okay.
automatically be
So
restaked.
so when you get to that point, you don't necessarily have to add stakes. You just hit to reinvest.
Yes.
Okay.
So you
That
build your
makes sense.
business. That's what the spreadsheet is for. You might say, well, I want to start with $1,000 and then I'm going to grow my business until I'm making $4,000 a month. Then
Right.
I'm taking $4,000 a month every month.
Okay.
Okay, so that's what the spreadsheet is showing you.
Okay. Okay. That makes sense. Got it. Thank you.
Okay, did I answer all your question? I got the impression there were two parts to it.
No, no, I was just trying to figure out, 'cause I did put 1,000 into UBX and I did it, 30 day at eight tenths of a percent, and I did 500 at 1%. So I average of 0.9%. So I was trying to figure out, at what point do I have to stop restaking, and what point can I start taking money out? So that's where I was looking for. If I
Yeah.
get to X amount, awesome. I don't have to do any more staking. I can start taking money out. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah. Well, if you wanted to, you don't have to restake. You can just save up your, say you put $1,000 in. You take all your profits, take your $10 a day,
Right.
when you've got $1,000, and you say, right now I'm going to start restaking.
Okay.
So you don't have
Yeah.
to. A lot of people do. They build up $100 and they restake, and then they build up
Right.
$100 and withdraw it.
Okay.
Personally, my risk appetite is I've put this much money in, and I'm quite happy with that level of risk, so I just restake everything.
Right. 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 That's where I am too. I mean, I'm not interested in putting any more money in it. I
Yeah.
want to start paying to pay me. So that's what I'm going to do. You bet.
Well, have a business pay you sounds crazy.
That's what we're here for, right?
That's what we're all here for, absolutely.
All
Yeah,
right.
good,
Awesome.
good question, Sean.
Thanks, Andy.
GoldenEye, come and say hi. Switch on your camera if you're good, my friend. Excellent. Good to see you. How you doing? Oh, you're unmuted. So, can you unmute yourself?
Mute.
There we go.
Hello.
Hi, how you doing?
Good, thanks. Yeah, sorry, I was late. I was late to the meeting. I just want to quickly ask for my friend. She put in about 3,000 in property robots. Did you cover that today, property robots?
No, we're not dealing with property robots on an ongoing basis, but I'm still talking to Adam occasionally, and he assures me that everyone will get their money back.
Okay.
Are you
All
still,
right.
have you been in touch with them recently?
No, well, no, I managed to get my money out, just my seed capital out, and they gave it back to me, no problem. So I haven't been involved, but other
Right.
people stayed, and their money's locked.
Okay. Well, it's a good call. I should really just send them a message and ask for an update, but I'm pretty sure if there was an update, we would have heard about it by now.
Hmm. Okay. All
Right.
right.
Good,
Yeah,
good to see you, John.
you too. Thanks.
Okay, how you doing, my friend?
Yeah, good. Andy, can you hear me? Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. I was
No,
just,
I can't hear you.
I noticed you were on the Ian's call yesterday. Where he was,
Right. Sorry, LK, you're fading away.
okay, just a second.
No.
Hang on.
I think your microphone's shot.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, but I was just wondering what your thoughts were yesterday. You were on the Zoom, right? Or the go-to webinar with Ian?
Yes. Yeah, were you there?
Yeah, I was there. What did you take from that? I mean, you said you were thinking you'd get your bank recruitment by what, next month or?
Well, the key thing that I got out of that webinar was that every single 2022 filing has been sent.
Right.
Which is good news because I've been tracking it on the website, and they've got these different points that get, they add a date or they tick something off. And I was thinking, why haven't they done those things? That's kind of a fairly simple thing to do. So on the webinar, what he said was the next 3 steps on my progress, on my journey, have already been checked off. So that being the case, yeah, if the Inland Revenue are to be believed, then it shouldn't be very long now. It should be, they say, between 45 and 60 days to process. Still not sure I believe that. But there's it's progress. That's the main thing for me is progress. I'd rather
Yeah.
I'd rather have a little bit of progress than no progress.
Right, exactly. Yeah, you're a little further ahead than me. Remember last week I was telling you I had the EIN number. I got one of the EIN numbers that was completed. I'm waiting for another one, and then there's something else that needed to be actioned by the company before everything was ready to roll, I guess. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. Hopefully, yeah, I was hoping we would have myself. I was hoping darn bank recruitment would be done by long before this time. But when I back in November, I completed everything, and the girl said, "Yeah, everything's done. Your stuff's been sent to Treasury, and you could probably expect the check within 2 months."
Yeah.
But that didn't happen. But anyway, Andy, I was just wondering that if we got a platform that I think is interesting, can I just send it to your private Telegram link?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, please
show
do.
it? Yeah, I sent you one last week. I don't know, you didn't get to it, or maybe didn't like it, but I didn't get any information from you. You didn't get any feedback or anything. It was about the plastic recycler.
Okay, I don't remember seeing that one, but by all means, send it again.
Okay, I'll send it again. And then there's another one that I'm interested in. I think it's got some legs. It might fit our criteria, as far as wealth warriors. Have you look at that? Tell me what you think, man. I mean, if you don't like it, just let me know. If it doesn't fit by some reason, it doesn't fit, just let me know. That way I'm not wondering, God, did Andy even look at it or what?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, buddy.
But a word of warning is I used to analyze like 3 or 4 of these a day, because you can get rid of most of them in the first half an hour.
Oh yeah.
And then I spend 2 days looking at one that looks good. I then spend a couple of days on it. But I've really not had the bandwidth to do that for, well, probably for the last 6 months, 8 months, something like that. So if I don't get to it soon, then don't give up on me. Just remind me.
Okay, Andy. Appreciate it, man.
Okay.
Okay.
Greg, how you doing, my friend?
Hey Andy, how you doing?
Yeah, super good.
All righty. I just thought I would share for those that are new on the call, and or even if you're not, if you're still taking a look at UBX, that my experience has been pretty positive to date. I've only been in it for a few weeks, but I'm as you know, I'm I'm keeping a close eye on it, and it's working just fine so far. Do we see earnings 7 days or 5 days?
7.
Okay, on that, I appreciate it. And I had one other thought, but I can't think of it right now. So that's it. UBX is fine. All the other platforms are fine, and I just thought I'd share that. Thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you for that endorsement. That's tremendous. Because I know you're a skeptical person. You don't.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, you don't suffer anything that's just sort of not kosher. So yeah, I appreciate that. It means a lot to me.
So far, so good.
Yeah, yeah. My thoughts too. Okay, well, I'm going to stop the recording here. Just a quick advert. So thank you for your attention on the call, and we may stay on the call and just have some more questions if you got them. Thank you for your attention if you're watching this video on YouTube. We do this Zoom call on a Sunday evening, 10 o'clock UK time. It's always much more fun to have you here in person, because you can join in, ask questions. And it's also like the difference between being at a rock concert or your favorite band's concert, as opposed to listening to the CD or the DVD afterwards. Okay, so it's so much more. You learn so much more. You immerse yourself in the community so much more by being on the Zoom call. So if you're thinking about it, I would say take the plunge, come and join us on the Zoom call on a Sunday evening, 10 o'clock UK time. And meanwhile, I'll wish you a wonderful, wonderful week, and see you all next Sunday.